everybody, Nikki here again to make another video about recovering from eating disorders. This video is dedicated to a dear friend of mine who I know is watching this, who was with me every step of the way. We suffered through our eating disorders together. We started recovery. We all know it's a long and difficult, perhaps never-ending journey. Anyways, she really gave me the strength and the courage to recover, and I love her very much. So this video is for you, and it is also inspired by her. This video is about the word thin. That is what it's about. And I decided to look the word up in my super cool dictionary that I won't get rid of even though my dog ate up a little bit. Alright, so the first definition of the word thin is, get this, having relatively little depth, of little extent from one surface or side to the opposite. Of relatively little depth. Okay. Second definition, having relatively small diameter in relation to length. Again, the word relatively. And the third definition, which is the one we all obsess over, is having little fat or flesh, lean, gaunt, slender. It's only the third definition. So, the word relatively popped up in there twice. And really, let's think about this for a second. The word thin, wow, it's one of those words that doesn't really mean anything. It's one of those words that has no meaning, really, because it's all about relativity, not in the Einstein sense. So I would like to tell you guys a little story. This is a story from the book The Phantom Tollbooth. I read that book a long time ago and I was really little, and this is the part of the book that stuck with me. Okay, so Milo goes to this enchanted land, and he's trying to rescue Rhyme and Reason, the princesses. And he's told that he has to go see the tall man, the short man, the thin man, and the fat man. Those are four of the people he has to go see on his way to rescue Rhyme and Reason. Don't remember why he had to go there or why he had to see them, but he did. So he goes to this guy's place and he knocks on the door. And this man opens the door. He doesn't know which man it's going to be, if it's going to be the fat, thin, tall, or short man. Guy opens the door. Milo's a little confused. Guy's looking pretty average. And the man says, well, I am the world's shortest tall man. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I still have to see the three other guys. Guy points him next door, goes to the next door, knocks on the door. Same guy opens it up, says, well, I'm the world's tallest short man. Okay, Milo thinks, goes on to the next door, knocks on it. Same man opens the door and says, I am the world's fattest thin man. Milo's like, okay. Goes to the last door, knocks on it. What do you know? Same guy says that he is the world's skinniest fat man. So, I really like that story because it's so true. This is something that my friend made me realize, and it's very powerful. Guess what? I don't care how fat you think you are. There's somebody looking at you thinking, my gosh, I wish I could be as thin as her. That fact right there really renders the word thin meaningless. We can't describe the word thin because it can only be put in relation to other things. Like, let's think of the word tall. If you were to say, I'm tall, well, that doesn't really mean anything because what are you comparing yourself to? If you're standing up next to a basketball player, you're not going to seem tall, but if you're standing up next to a 4-year-old, you will seem really tall. It's like when I take my big dog, this is him, to the park. He seems really big to me at home because he's bigger than my other dog. He's a pretty big guy. He weighs 90 pounds almost. Mwah, he's very cute. And he seems like a really big dog. But when I take him to the dog park and a bunch of Great Danes show up, which happens sometimes, he suddenly seems really, really short and very small. And then when I get him back home, he seems massive again. So all of these things are all just what we make of them. I remember once my therapist told me, after I was going on and on about, oh, I need to redefine what thin is, because my idea of thin's a little wacky. She was like, why can't you just redefine the importance you place on being thin? And hello, she's right. It doesn't have to be about being thin, because at any rate, the word thin is meaningless. No matter how much weight I lost, I still felt fat. By the time I would be thin enough to be happy, if I ever got there, I would be dead. So I think it's really powerful to note that we all are striving, or were striving, for something that doesn't really mean anything, something that has no substance. And, well, that means we would always fail. So that is my little rant about the word thin. And now I would like to do a little rant about the word beauty. Okay, I'm sure you've all heard the phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Well, there was a Twilight Zone episode called Beauty. No, actually it's just called Eye of the Beholder. It's a Twilight Zone episode called Eye of the Beholder. It's really powerful. It's a great episode. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear how it ends, bye for now, because it is really powerful to see it. But if you don't think you're going to have a chance to see it, or you've already seen it, stick with me. Okay, so this whole episode is about this woman who is so hideous and revolting that she is going through like her 5th round of plastic surgery, and if this one doesn't work, she's going to be sent off to a colony where the deformed, ugly, revolting people live, so that none of the normal looking people have to see them. So this character in this episode has her face all engulfed in bandages because she just had her last round of cosmetic surgery. And the first maybe 3/4 of the episode is her lamenting about, why was I born like this? Why am I so hideous? Why didn't the first 4 surgeries work? What if this one doesn't work? This is the last one I can get. It's very heart-wrenching, really. And then there is this amazing scene in which her bandages are taken off. And we see the bandages come off from her point of view. So it gets lighter and lighter. And once the bandages are all the way off, the doctor jumps back in horror, and the nurse screams and drops her scissors, and everybody is terrified. And this woman puts her hands up to her face, and she starts screaming that it didn't work, and she's hideous. And then for the first time, we see her face, and she's gorgeous, like cover of Vogue gorgeous. And then for the first time, we see the faces of the doctors and the nurses. And there are these hideous, grotesque, pig-looking people with these massive noses and this deformed-looking jaw and these weird, somewhat furry faces and these, like, ape-like eyebrow bone structure up here. They're hideous. And she's beautiful. But they think she's hideous. They think she is too unsightly to even look at, because in their culture, what they think of beauty is this pig people look. So I think that's a good illustration of the fact that beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. And it's another word that's more or less meaningless, because what's beautiful to me might not be beautiful to you, and vice versa. So anyways, I'm getting to the end of my 10 minutes here. I love you all, especially my dear friends that I was talking about in the beginning. This video is for you, and thank you for the comment you left me, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. So I love all you guys. Stay strong. Mwah.